Let me start with a question that we asked the preceding panel as well to each of you, which is, should this committee take up legislation to provide greater certainty and predictability and clear incentives for the private investment of resources in space? And if so, what should the contours of that legislation, the contours of any such regulatory regime be, and to what extent does the Outer Space Treaty serve as a barrier to doing so?
Well, perhaps, Mr. Chairman, I could start.
Sure.
Having lived the dream and come up against a stark reality that we had a mission plan, we had investors invested, but didn't have a way forward at the end of 2015. Not that the government, there was anybody that didn't want to say yes, there was just no mechanism to do so. So we were able to, through months and months of expensive and time-consuming effort, both on our company's executive side and the great people throughout all of the interagency federal stakeholders, found a solution, but a temporary patch in this mission approval. However, the mission approval was, once it was given, it was made clear that it was a one-time only thing for our one company, for our one mission. And although there would be a proactive desire to continue that type of support, there was no guarantee that it could be done again. So we need a certainty. Here we are about to execute on our first lunar mission, planning further missions. And Mr. Chairman, you mentioned those peaks of eternal light on the moon. Those are indeed the destinations that we are looking at for our second mission. And we have yet to have a certainty of process in order to gain the Article 6 authorization and supervision to go there. So I did recommend a light touch regulatory environment that promotes certainty with a minimum of regulatory burden. Inaction or nothing is not enough. And we have found a way through existing protocols with a little bit more voluntary disclosure to find a way through. So perhaps that's a data point for the models that will be helpful in the more permanent solutions that are found in the future.
And Dr. Richards, let me follow up on your answer there. My understanding is that your mission approval from the FAA states, quote, "The FAA made a favorable payload determination for this particular mission. However, not all non-traditional space missions may lend themselves to favorable payload determinations under the Payload Review Authority in 51 U.S.C. 50904. Future missions may require additional authority to be provided to the FAA to ensure conformity with the Outer Space Treaty." My question is, what impact did that statement have on Moon Express and the certainty you need to continue to receive funding from investors to facilitate future missions?
And that letter was written on July 20th of 2016, which was a venerable date, of course, for that to happen. It was great news that the authority was given for that once. It was an indication that it is possible, but it was certainly not an indication of certainty for the future. We are moving forward with the belief that the United States will continue to find a way. These hearings and the conversations that are underway right now are giving us great hope that these things will happen. Our colleagues in other industries want to go to asteroids and they want to go to Mars. We want to go to other destinations too, and it's going to start happening fast and frequently. So although we're not there yet, I have confidence that these conversations and others will lead to a permanent solution that we can all live with and flourish with.